Hey, girlfriend, you know who you are. You have big, big dreams. You want to write a book, stand on a TED Talk stage, be a life coach offering wisdom from your RV in Montana, a cafe in Barcelona, or a beach chair in Tulum. Your other girlfriends and your family, they don't always get your biz savvy. Why do you want to leave your JOB? Because you're a C.A.T.S, aka coach, author, thought leader, and speaker. Meet other change makers like yourself and find out how they make it happen. This is the Big Meow podcast.
Hello, cats. I'm Kristen White, and I'm here today with Nicole Edwards. Hey, Nicole.
Hey there.
So I want to hear all about this amazing business that you're running right now.
Absolutely. So I'm Nicole, and my last name's Edwards. So I wanted to keep the name kind of consistent. So my business is called Edwards Authentic. And
I love
what
it.
that means is all things how to show up boldly authentic in any space. So what I do is I have workshops, I have designed a couple of courses, and I do some coaching. I'm also a keynote speaker, and my kind of platform is just to empower professional women, whether they are, in a regular 9 to 5, or if they have a side hustle, or if they've made the leap already to being a full-time entrepreneur, just to empower them to, as I mentioned, boldly show up with their unique signature style in any space.
I love that, Nicole. Being authentic is so important today because I feel like we have so many inputs coming in saying we need to be this way or we need to be that way. And, the truth is that's just not sustainable. It's almost impossible to be someone other than yourself. What is your core philosophy?
So, beyond just being boldly authentic, I think a philosophy of mine is kind of for women, by women. I think that I really am drawn to the idea of feminine leadership and what are those specific qualities that we bring to the table that are absolutely incomparable, right? And sometimes often overlooked. Not that men in leadership is a negative thing, absolutely not, but we just show up differently and we have different strengths. So I think the philosophy that goes throughout my own life and my own leadership journey, but also in my business is how do we show up as women in our spaces with all of the things that we know how to do best?
I love that. That sounds so amazing. I think it's important to really make the statement that just because you're pro women doesn't mean you're anti-man, right? I mean, so many people today are like, oh, you're against the guys, but that's not the case. I just think there needs to be space for women at the table. And we have powerful things to say. We have a lot of accumulated wisdom. We are nurturers, we're caregivers, we're also leaders and creatives. And so we have a lot to bring to the conversation.
Absolutely. I co-sign on all of that.
So how long have you been an entrepreneur?
Since 2019, so right before the pandemic.
And how's that going?
So like everyone, I had a vision of what I would be doing. And then, the pandemic kind of helped, at least me, kind of get really clear on what fits and what doesn't fit. And what is the kind of work that I really want to be doing and let the other things kind of let them go. I am the type of person that likes to have my hands in all sorts of different things. My interests are far and wide. And I think I really got specific on who I wanted to serve and how I wanted to show up doing that. And so it's going well. And I'm still on that journey. I think when you become an entrepreneur, it's something that's an iterative process. It's not something that you show up one day and you're like, I'm arrived. It's something that you continually, it's like life's masterclass.
Oh, I so love that. It is absolutely like life's masterclass, and that is funny. I've been an entrepreneur for 14 years. So you're right. It's not like one day you're like, woohoo, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that come up. What's a challenge that you've had recently and how did you resolve it?
I think thinking about the pandemic and how it's transformed the way that we communicate with each other, especially with my speaking aspect of my business. A
Yeah.
lot of, events went virtual. So trying to transition to deliver keynotes in a virtual space is a lot different. You don't have the same energy give back. I'm really one that loves to be around people and feed off their energy. And so one of the most recent challenges that I've had was delivering a keynote and not having any interaction with my audience. The only interaction was a chat feature, and I couldn't see their faces. It was bizarre almost. But
I hate it when people don't turn the cameras on. You feel like you're just doing that keynote into the void.
Yes, into the void. Absolutely. It's a lot like speaking on camera. So what I did is I really kind of came back to the table and thought about what are the tools that I could use that I might be missing in just this blank canvas of, solely relying on the chat feature. And so what I did is I came back to the table and I thought, your creativity soars, the mother of invention. When you don't have anything, right? How are you going to make it powerful and show up? So I've really tuned into what are those kind of tools in my toolbox that I can show up and stand out and not just rely on the little chat feature.
I can't even imagine doing a keynote talk and then trying to break away from that momentum and look at the chat. That just seems just counterintuitive. So what is some piece of advice that you give to the women that you work with or that you would share with other C.A.T.s?
I think, first and foremost, we're speaking about authenticity. I think it's really tuning in, and it's not just one thing. Authenticity doesn't mean, this is you. It's all of the pieces that make you, right? So really fine tuning and identifying those pieces that you want to integrate so that when you show up, you are truly embodying the way that it's all you. So I would say that my kind of insert to that is don't be afraid to partner with people that are like you and doing similar work to you. I think sometimes we can get in a competitive space and we think that there's not enough to go around, but I really believe in the power of partnerships and the way that we can come together, even if we're doing similar things, to create something absolutely brand new. And it might even give you the push that you need to get out of your comfort zone by partnering with someone else.
I absolutely love that. I have said for many, many, many years, there's no such thing as competition. There's only collaboration. And, even with women who look like they're doing almost the same thing as myself, we've teamed up together and done projects together. And really, that was what motivated me to even start this whole C.A.T.S network. Is there is so much room for us to collaborate and to share ideas and to support one another and to be much more expansive. We're each only one person and we can only do so much as one person. And I think when we understand that we're part of the whole, that we're more interconnected, there's more power in that collective energy that is moving towards, a focal point than just each one of us in our own little silo.
Yes, absolutely.
So who inspires you, Nicole?
I have so many people that have inspired me. Women like yourself that are doing this work and bringing us together is definitely inspiration for me. When I think of, Rosalind Brewer, was a CEO of Walgreens. She is an absolute inspiration for me. When I think of Sarah Blakely, oh my goodness, I thought I knew who she was until recently I watched her masterclass. And I have just a renewed sense of inspiration just by her and how she leads. I think she really stands on this idea of women leading and what are those, just what we were speaking about earlier, about those aspects of women in leadership that are just, they're game changing.
Why do you think more women need to step into leadership today?
I think that they have the power to be transformative. I think the way that women lead brings in a sense of creativity and intuition. And as you mentioned, nurturing, right? We have learned that when you know people care about you, right? The effects of that are we don't even really understand how much importance that weighs versus just simply, doing your output, doing a job, reaching a goal, etc. The people, the connection that we really value and honor in the workspace, I think is absolutely transformative.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. When you feel like someone supports you, that somebody has your back, that they're cheering you on, it makes a huge difference in how you go about your work in the world. You mentioned something in that answer that I just loved. And I have to ask you one more question. How do you use your intuition?
Oh, for me personally, my intuition guides every decision that I make, every step that I take. That sounds like a song, but it's true.
It could be our intuition song.
Absolutely. You have to tune in, and it takes practice, and
Yeah.
you have to really run everything by that small space, or not so small space, within you that leads you to the right answer, and only you have that answer. No one else has that answer. You can get consults by people who are maybe in a similar space or whom you trust, but ultimately, that is the guide. It comes from within.
Absolutely. I can't even imagine not living an intuitive life. I feel like that is my compass. It's like, oh, how does this feel? Or, what sense, what verification am I getting around this? And that really informs me about what direction to take. So Nicole, this was amazing. How can we get in touch with you?
So my website is edwardsauthentic.com. Anybody can find me there. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm easy to find on there. It's Nicole Edwards, and it's CPTD. What that stands for, Certified Professional in Talent Development.
Absolutely.
So either place. Yes.
You rock. Thank you so much for being on the Big Meow.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Thanks for listening to the Big Meow podcast, sponsored by C.A.T.S Network. If you liked what you heard, please take a moment to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends. You can also join our network filled with positivity and possibility. Visit www.catsnetworking.com to join us and learn more, together with your magical, motivated, and mystical new friends at C.A.T.S Network. Let's transform 1 million lives with your message. Are you feeling isolated, sitting at home in your PJs? Or perhaps you're tired of the comfy sweatpants with holes in them that are hidden just below the camera? I mean, you could puke at the thought of another day of Zoom meetings and reporting to your BOSS. Do you want freedom from your home office desk or the office cubicle? Do you want freedom from your current career? Or are you frustrated that your online biz dreams are going nowhere? It's all too overwhelming. Where do you start? All the tech, the choices, and your message. Yep, I said your message, your brand, your voice. What is it? Do you even know what that means? Do you need a biz coach but don't want to invest the big bucks? Let's face it, being a solopreneur is lonely, but you don't have to do it alone. And here's a solution. Join C.A.T.S Network. C.A.T.S Network is a woman-only membership community exclusively available to you, the life coach or executive coach, the author, the thought leader, or the public speaker. If you identify with this list or want to work on adding some of these to your skill set, C.A.T.S is the place for you. Check us out at www.catsnetworking.com. That's C.A.T.S networking.com. Because let's face it, cats are better together.